Hi, everyone. Are you looking for love? Well, we're going to have some fun tonight, and we're going to be very informative about how do you do it during a pandemic. This is the Live Monica Makes It Happen Facebook show coming to you live from New York City, this corner of the world, the capital of love, I should say. Maybe our expert tonight can tell us a little bit about that, but it's pandemic-proof dating. I love that. Elle came up with that. Elle and Amanda, my beautiful producers. A year where, well, it's almost been a year into the pandemic. Are you looking for love after Valentine's Day? Are you trying to reevaluate, reassess, and maybe find some love? Well, we are going to answer all the questions that you have, bringing in our expert, our Match chief dating expert. She's with Match. We love you guys, first of all. You have such a track record of success. We always want to go to successful people for answers, especially about our love life. I mean, come on. And if you're looking for love, Rachel is going to have all the answers for us tonight. Really, you're the relationship expert. Rachel, first of all, you were telling us there's 5 commandments. What's that about?
Yes, there are 5 commandments to dating and pandemic-proof dating. So the first is you have to get online. I know that some people are still hesitant. They think, I tried that before. Maybe I shouldn't try it again. It didn't work the last time, but it has increased so much. At Match, we've seen a 30% increase in messaging, 15% increase in matches compared to year. So get online. Usage is spiking, which means that there's more options. I'm not always for more options, but I like to have options for especially people who have been frustrated in the past. The second one is know what you want. Go out in a dating sense. Knowing what you're looking for is so important. So I think a lot of times we're like, I could go for this, I could go for that, but you want to absolutely know what you want. The third one is to vet on video before meeting in person. This is definitely something that I would love to talk about further because it's something I'm so passionate about. In the beginning of the pandemic, everyone's like, I'm not getting on video. It was like 6% of people were willing to go on video. And now it's over 70% of people are willing to get on video. So vet on video before you get in person because you'll actually recognize that this might be someone you want to put some energy into. Number 4, you want to talk about COVID. So you want to have the talk, which is completely changed compared to what the talk used to be. So you want to discuss, are we wearing masks? Are we meeting in person? Are you getting tested? Do you have the vaccine? There's so many different elements. And the last one is above all else, we have to stay open. So we have to be open to love. I know it's been a rough year for everybody, but it's really about hope at this point. I always say, keep your expectations low, but your hope high. So those are my top 5 commandments.
Rachel, you're so good. I love all the comments. Jojo, thanks, Anthony, for watching. Anthony says money, 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 and vaccinated. I love that. It's about 2 things for him. And I'm going to do a speed round with questions. Our most asked questions, thanks to Ellen and Amanda for pre-screening some of these questions that all of you want to know, and I want to know as well. I don't know the answers. Michael is looking for a girlfriend, so maybe we can match someone live right now on Facebook. If you like Michael's picture, actually, Michael doesn't have a profile picture. It's like a scenery shot. Michael, good luck to you. Ian says it's lame. Well, love right now is not the priority for everybody, but I can tell you, I know there are a lot of people looking for love right now. And during a pandemic, like you said, Rachel, there's a whole new way of doing it. So you want to do a speed round right now? Should we date right now or wait?
Date. Absolutely date. What are you waiting for? At the end of the day, this could go on in terms of getting to a new normal. It could be a while. So why not start engaging in just looking and seeing what's out there, seeing if you can make a connection. Connections can be made online. They can be made virtually, and then you can decide if you're going to meet in person. So absolutely date. People are having a massive amount of success who are online. And obviously there are people who are still frustrated, but they need to continue moving forward and continuing to see what options are out there. There's someone for everyone.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And Deb and Valerie are saying date. So all the women are saying, I wonder what the guys watching are thinking. Should you date? Oh, and Brent says values. Hello, values. Okay, yes, that is a big deal. We're looking for values. And Jojo says looking with no luck. Jojo, this is all going to change because of the show and Rachel's advice. So let me ask you, Rachel, Zoom, can you find romance on Zoom?
Yes, you can. So actually, Match does a Singles in America study every year. We had our 10th one come out last year, and we found that 56% of people felt chemistry on a video date, and 50% fell in love on video. This was a lot of these questions were answered during the actual quarantining part of this. So we were really needing to connect with people online. You could absolutely fall in love over Zoom. I mean, I say it all the time, is that you may not be able to be in front of the person, get the 3D version of them, but 2D is pretty good until you can get 3D. I say all the time, listen, I've never met Brad Pitt in person, but I'm pretty sure I would still find him attractive if I met him in person, because I've seen him enough on video. So get on video.
Especially in that movie, Troy.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. You're absolutely.
I'm going to get divorced.
Oh no, I hope he's not watching right now. Okay, well, COVID tested. This is such a big question for people, you know, and it's so uncomfortable. Like, how do you say, hey, are you COVID negative? Did you get tested? When did you get, like, how do you do that now?
You have to be unapologetically open and honest, know what your risk tolerances are. And that's something I've said for the entirety of this, because, just as well as I do from the beginning, everybody had different perspectives of what this all meant. So you needed to have your own risk tolerances understood, but understood that that might not be the same as your potential partner. So having that conversation, a lot of apps are actually putting it in their profiles. So in Match, you can actually say, I expect to wear masks on a date, I don't want to hug, or I want to meet in person, or I rather meet on video. So all of those things are upfront, which is great because you don't have to have the conversation, but you're still going to have to talk about it a little bit of where are we going to go? What are we going to do? So
I love setting
have the conversation.
I love that. Setting your boundaries and knowing how to communicate is important, even on that first date. Christopher, you're winning the award right now for the most emojis. I love it. Anyone else can give us as many rainbows and hearts and everything else. I love these comments. Doreen's like, lust or love? What are you looking for? I love that. Truly honest respect. They're looking for respect and honesty through the Zoom. I love it. Best dating apps. What would you suggest?
Well, obviously I'm partial to Match, but I always think that people should be on 2 or 3. Preferably start with 2 because you get a vibe of who's out there and do they match what you're looking for. So, there's Match, there's Bumble, there's Hinge, there's Tinder. And I think Tinder gets a bad rap because everybody thinks it's a hookup site. I think Whole Foods is a hookup site. People go there and they look to meet people just like you do on any of these apps. So not as much now because we're covered in masks and whatnot, but Whole Foods used to be a good pickup site.
Starbucks too. A lot of
yes.
my girlfriends have met their husbands at Starbucks, and you still can go and pick up your coffee and whatever else. Valerie said, get your vaccine. I guess that's hot now, is to get your vaccine. That is super hot for a lot of people online. I get that. And Valerie says, have patience, which I think is always good advice.
Huge.
Can I ask you a really silly question, an age-old question? On the first date, who should pay? Does that change because we're...
I'm going to say, because not everybody is in a heterosexual relationship, that the person who asks pays. And so I think that everybody should offer, which is something that I'm a strong believer in. Just don't sit back and expect somebody to pay, offer to pay. And then if it's a man and a woman on a date, the man wants to be chivalrous, that is totally cool with me. So.
Oh, Elle's here. Elle, you have questions?
I do. So I'm looking at some of the questions from social media, and we posted this on Instagram earlier today. And so we have a couple questions. Roseanne from Brooklyn asked, what are some places we can go to get to know each other on a first date in the winter while also making it COVID safe?
That's the tough part of this. So it's interesting. Parks actually became the top date location on Match profiles for the first time ever over restaurants and bars, obviously because of necessity. So you can still meet in Central Park. You can still meet outside. You're just going to be a little bit more bundled up. But if people are more comfortable outside, then we have to acclimate to whoever we're looking to get to know.
My favorite Instagram comment of the day comes from JustPrissy082, who says, he won't stop taking me hiking every single weekend. Do you think it's safe to date indoors?
Listen, you're getting a good workout in. This is like a bonus. That's awesome. But you know what? It's, again, I can only decide for myself, just like you can only decide for yourself of what risk you're willing to take. You know, I have dined indoors, but I have many friends who have not. And I will never be the person to say, this is the time to do it. I think you have to assess your own risks and your own desires. I don't know. That's so personal.
It's fair. No, it's fair. And I have one more question from a viewer. It is Corey from Brooklyn. And he says, how long is too long for back and forth chatting? And he says that he's much less inclined to meet up with somebody right now because of COVID. But then after a while, going back and forth and nonstop messaging just helps him lose interest a little bit. So how long is too long for that back and forth?
And that really depends too. So you could go back and forth. I mean, there's people who have connected online or virtually for months, a year. I don't recommend that. I think you should meet in person before you get really attached. So I would suggest, trying to keep it to a couple weeks if you can. And if you can meet in person, even if you don't touch, that you actually get to see, is this worth my energy? Because that's what happens with these situations. They put so much energy into a possible relationship and it ends up not being what they think they were as they meet in person. So you want to make sure that you're putting it in the right spot.
That is, I love it. Okay, Angelica, she's done parks. She's did the Brooklyn Bridge and the Brooklyn Promenade. Well, how romantic, but it's so cold to just make sure you dress appropriately. Because if you really are having fun, then you're stuck because you have to keep talking and then you're like outside for like 30 minutes. You could get sick. Yeah.
You get a partner, but you lose a nose.
I know, I'm such a mom. I'm like, make sure you're dressed warm out there, kid. And then Callie says, men, you need to let a woman know you're interested. Ooh, look at that. So, okay, I hear you because, old school, the men are supposed to, but I'm from the new school. I say, if you think I went after my husband. I don't know about you, but I went after my husband.
I think it's important to allow both parties to let each other know that you're interested. And that's really, that goes into a whole other conversation about vulnerability and being yourself and being willing to put yourself out there. And that's why everybody's afraid of getting hurt. So nobody says they're interested because they're afraid if I tell them that I'm interested and they don't respond, then I feel rejected and I feel sad. So everybody just let it out there.
I think there's one bonus maybe is that we are FaceTiming and Zooming. So maybe the rejection is not as hard. Someone just said FaceTime
Turn
dating,
it off.
Right? Someone just said we're FaceTime dating now. So now it's all about FaceTime. You're kind of like, hi, how you doing?
You can wear a puppy filter.
Deb Lowe says, I discussed testing. If the person is not open to it, then they're not for me. Oh, I like that as a screening process. What do you think, Rachel?
Again, I think this is a very personal decision, and this is a time where you have to set your boundaries and stick to them if this is something that you are passionate about. It's the same thing with vaccination. I had a conversation with a outlet the other day about vaccines, and it's going to be the same conversation there where people are going to be having those talks where, we're dealing with something we've never dealt with before. So understand, and, I think it's important overall. Give yourself some grace. It's a weird time. It's a weird situation. So yeah, you're having conversations we never thought we would have had to have.
And again, to start that conversation, you can say, how do you start that conversation? Like, I got COVID tested. How about you?
I think it's like you let them know, you know what, I have to tell you, it's really important to me. I know we're in this weird time, and you can kind of identify the elephant in the room. I get that we're in this weird place, but it's really important to me, and tell them why. I mean, you don't have to go into your health history, but I'm just worried about my health, or I'm worried about the health of the people that I'm in relation with. And, set up your expectations, because if you don't define your expectations, you're setting people up for failure.
You know who's really talented on this Facebook Live right now is Angelica. Angelica, I wish we could add you into our stream here, but she says, I started texting him on Facebook Messenger. I get a lot of those messages. Okay, there it is. And then once I was comfortable, we transitioned to video calls. So can you start like maybe just with like pictures and like work your way, up to the
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think it goes in stages. First, you have to find the person, whether it's on an app or it sounded like they connected on Facebook. And then you start messaging. You recognize if this is somebody that you want to see, if they vet out in video, get on video, and then you can decide whether to take it on to the next step and maybe hike every weekend. I still love that.
That sounds like a nightmare to me. I would literally say, look, I don't think I can do this anymore. Like eating, I could meet and eat a donut. That would be great. But Rachel, that was just fantastic. I always like to end with hope. I want to end with hope. And what would you tell someone right now saying, this is impossible. I have failed over and over and over again, and I can't find love. And now I'm in a pandemic, and I don't want to find love on Zoom. What kind of pep talk can you give them in 30 seconds?
Again, there are more people out there than ever. People have reprioritized what they're looking for. People are really looking for intentional dating. They're looking for relationships. I get it that it's been frustrating before, but it is worth a shot. Get positive, put a positive profile out there, get some pictures on there, and do the work. Put 20 minutes a day in. That's all I'm asking of, swiping or searching and messaging.
Wow, so 20 minutes a day and maybe a new profile photo, like freshen it up. You have all this time now inside. So freshen it up, do a whole new profile. And you know what? I want to hear from you. If you guys find love and you found this to be very helpful, make sure to comment below, share it with someone that you think might enjoy it. Share it with someone that you might have a crush on, and maybe they'll get the hint. But thank you, Rachel. You were incredible. And thank you, Ellen, Amanda. What an incredible show. And, every night, we're making it happen at 5:45. Rachel, Match. We love Match. Everybody go to Match, and good luck. Good luck. If you're looking for love, we're making it happen.